Alrighty, welcome in to the 643 podcast, the second edition of the podcast. I'm your host, AJ Peterson. For today's podcast, we're going to be going through our predictions for the 2021 season, like the division winners in each division in the American League and the National League, our World Series predictions, our predictions for who's going to win the awards, such as the MVP, the Cy Young Award, and the Rookie of the Year. And for today's show, I actually brought on one of my good friends. He's a baseball aficionado. He knows a lot about the game, very knowledgeable, and I'm glad to have him joined. Glad to be joined tonight by my friend Adam Ellenberger.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, talk a little shop about some baseball with this man, AJ, who knows baseball inside out, and, let's get into it.
Yeah, thanks for joining me tonight, Adam. Tonight we're actually recording the episode from the beautiful beach in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It's 11 p.m., probably about 70, 75 degrees. It's a beautiful night to record a podcast, so let's dive into it. Like I said, we're going to be going through we're going to be making our predictions for the 2021 season. And to start off, we're going to take it division by division, pick who we think the division winners are going to be, who the wildcard winners are going to be, award winners, and ultimately who we think is going to make it to the World Series and win the ship. So to start off, we'll kick it off with the National League West. Adam, what do you think is going to be going on in the National League West this season?
I mean, we heard what Justin Turner said a couple weeks back or a month ago about how he said there's going to be like 19 basically World Series games played between those two teams, the Dodgers and Padres. So, I mean, I think that with all due respect to the Giants, D-backs, and Rockies, I mean, I think we all know how this is going to end up being. I think that between those two teams, they're going to win 100 games more, 100 or more. I believe, out of my pure bias, because I really just dislike the Dodgers a lot, and sorry if that offends anybody, but
I'm on that same boat.
I have the Padres winning the division. I think that, as long as I can remember being alive, I feel like the Dodgers have been winning the division. So
Eight division awards in a row.
I mean, there you go. So I think it has to change at some point. So I think that, this has to be the year for it. So.
Right, and I totally agree with your reasoning. Last year, the Padres were one of the hottest teams in the league. They turned it on when the postseason came around. They have star power in Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado. Now they have Yu Darvish and Blake Snell leading their rotation.
Right.
All around, they're looking like a very well-built team, a team that could make a deep postseason run. They have all the pieces you need for a deep postseason run. And again, I agree with what Adam was saying. I think it's going to be a two-dog race in the NL West between the Dodgers and the Padres. I think both teams have potential to go out and win 100 games, upper 90s games, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Ultimately, I'm going to go the other direction from what you did, Adam. I think the Dodgers are going to pull it off.
Right.
I think they'll win the division by a game or two or a very close margin. With that being said, of course, that would put the Padres or the Dodgers, whichever team doesn't win the division, likely in the number one wild card spot. So both teams will be in a good spot to make a run in the postseason. So
right, and I agree with that too. I think that, you got one winning the division, then you got one being the first wild card team, and that was the case last year too when, you had the Dodgers as the one seed, but then you had the Padres who had the second best record in baseball, but were, the one wild card. So
right. And yeah, can't argue with that. It's tough for maybe the Padres or the Dodgers, whichever team doesn't win the division, that they're in the division with the best or the second best team in the MLB. It's tough.
Right.
It's tough
crazy
to go out and win the division when you got a team like that to go against. But yeah, Adam, he's taking the Padres to win the NL West.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Myself, I'm taking the Dodgers to win the NL West.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, we'll move on to the NL Central. This division's a little bit more interesting than the NL West. It doesn't really have two powerhouse teams like the West does with the Dodgers and the Padres. It's a little bit more evenly balanced, especially with the top three teams, with the Brewers, the Cubs, and the Cardinals. It's pretty safe to assume we can count the Reds and the Pirates out. Pirates might break the record for the most losses in a season this year.
They're going to be horrible.
We'll see what happens.
Unfortunately for all those Pirates fans out there, it's not going to be good. But
trust the process. Rebuild is coming.
Yep.
We'll see what happens there.
Kumar Rocker inbound, so.
But yeah, with the Brewers, the Cubs, and the Cardinals, this is a tough one for me. It's hard for me to pick between three teams who likely are going to wind up with around 88, 90 wins
Yeah.
each.
Yeah.
Especially when they're all playing each other 18, 19 games in a season. They're just going to be beating up on each other. I don't know, Adam, who are you taking?
Dude, I've been thinking about this up until like just now. Like I've literally been struggling because I told you I was like, we've got, you know, any one of these teams. Baseball is a game of underdogs. It's a game of wild card teams, and I think that we could see like a weird little upset happen. I guess I'll say, for that terminology. I think that the right answer is the Cardinals, but I think that this is just going to be a weird year, and I can just, I'm going to just go with my gut and go with the Brewers. It's weird.
Okay.
They don't have much pitching. They've got a pretty strong bullpen, so I'm going to kind of bank on that. But I think that Christian Yelich is really going to turn it on and go back to his...
Year in, year out MVP candidate.
Right. So I think that he's going to just tear it up this year. I think that they've got a really solid all-around offense, and I think that that's really going to help lift them to snag like 89
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. It'll be tight. I think that it could literally come down to like the last day for those two teams. But
yeah, definitely.
Those three, but...
I don't know anything about the schedule for the last weekend of the season, but it would definitely be exciting if it comes down to game 162 between Brewers Cubs, Brewers Cardinals, two of those three teams playing each other for the division. That'd be very exciting.
Right.
But I completely agree with you as well with the Brewers. I think their offense looks really good. Their pitching, we'll have to see what happens. They had a pitcher tonight he had a no-hitter through 6 innings. So, I mean, that's a good sign in game 3 of 162. But
there's some hope there.
Yeah, and they had a good pickup as well in Colton Wong at second base. Mm-hmm. So their offense, you know what you're getting with their offense. They're going to be a really good offense, score a lot of runs, hang around in a lot of tight games. But when it comes down to it, I think you just got to have pitching. You got to have a good bullpen, and I don't know about the Brewers with that.
Right.
And that's why I think I'm going to take the Cardinals. I think they're the safer pick here. Sorry, Cubs fans. Sorry, Alex Coyle. But I just think the Cardinals have a more well-rounded team. I think they do have a great offense, especially trading for Nolan Arenado this offseason, pairing him with Goldie, 2 former NL West players now just mobbing in the NL Central.
Right.
And I think great baseball tends to be played in St. Louis. They're always a good team year in and year out. So I think they're the Vegas favorite, or my favorite to win the division this year.
Right.
Yeah, so AJ's taking the Cardinals, and Adam is taking the Brewers for the 2021 NL Central champions. And the final division in the National League is, of course, the NL East. And this one is very interesting. This one's going to be a very exciting race to watch. Tell us why, Adam.
I mean, top to bottom, this is the best division in baseball. You got the Marlins, who coming into last year were looking at like the biggest joke in the MLB, but managed to make the playoffs. And then of course you've got the Phillies, who've got some superstars. The Nationals just came off a World Series win a couple years back. So, and then just like the Dodgers and Padres, you got the dark horse World Series teams, and the Mets and Braves. So, I think that for some weird reason, I've had a really good feeling about the Mets this entire offseason. I love DeGrom.
Mr. Smile.
You're right. Mr. Smile's there. He's ready to tear it up. I think that the Polar Bear needs to... If they're right now, for me, they're a strong World Series pick to win it all, but only if the Polar Bear really has a season that, would help get them there.
How many home runs did Pete Alonso hit in his rookie year?
I would like to say it was 55, 57 maybe.
Holy crap. That is nuts.
So I think that, they have the superstars to do it, and now their bullpen is just incredible. Eddie Diaz is back to the way that he was back when he was with the Mariners. So they're my favorite, but of course the Braves are just incredible too. It'll be so fun to watch in that division.
Yeah, 100%. And on this one, I think I'm going to agree with Adam. I'm going to pick the Mets. I think they just have the perfect team makeup to win the division. Especially with their rotation being led by Jacob deGrom. Noah Syndergaard, if he comes back healthy, would be a huge addition in June, July, somewhere around there for them.
That's a game changer for sure.
Trading for Mr. Smile himself, Francisco Lindor, just got that big 10-year, $341 million contract. A happy man, smiling.
Yep. Totally warranted too.
Yeah, 100%. I just the Braves, they're going to have a really good year, and this one could also come down to game 162 for both teams.
Right.
And the Braves, I also think, are going to be a very tough team to beat in the playoffs. They got a lot of young star power in Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson, Ronald Acuna Jr.
They managed to retain Marcell Ozuna, and they went and got Charlie Morton too. So
very big indeed. Who's their ace? The Braves. Can't remember.
I think his name is Max Fried. Max
Fried. Okay.
He's a younger guy. They just they're kind of building up this young superstar of a team. So he's kind of a guy that's come up through their farm system, and he really showed what he was about last year in the playoffs and stuff. So
yeah, a little disclaimer to anyone who's listening out there. Myself, AJ, I was actually gone for 2 years from the world of baseball. Essentially, didn't really follow along with what was going on. I was living in Denmark, and just kind of wasn't really like getting all the updates. So a lot of names, a lot of the newer guys that are coming up these days are a little fuzzy for me, but I'm trying to pick up, and hopefully I'll be back to mid-season form once the season gets kicked off and running this year. So
definitely.
But yeah, we're both taking the Mets in this one, and we've kind of already said it with the wildcard teams, but with the two very good divisions in the NL West and the NL East. But Adam, who are you taking for your NL wildcards?
Man, I think it's only right, with me taking the Padres, I think it's not even a debate. It'll be the Dodgers as the first seed.
Yeah. Possibly a 100-win wildcard team.
Right.
Crazy.
Like just something that, you don't really get to see much very often. I think that the Braves will secure the second wildcard spot, and then depending on, I'm unsure with the playoff rule from last year if it still runs over to this year. But
yeah, the MLB hasn't been clear on that yet. I think they're kind of taking it day by day.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But I mean, if they do open up more spots, I could definitely see like the Cardinals being your third wild card team, and then if there is a fourth, which I highly doubt it, I see the Nationals. I think that I like what the Nationals have done.
I agree.
They've really bolstered up their roster, and they got arguably the top 3 player in baseball, Juan Soto. So yeah, I'm gonna go the same way, same direction. Of course, I had the Dodgers winning the division, so I'm gonna take the Padres with the number 1 wild card spot, and with the number 2 spot, I'm gonna be taking the Braves because I have the Mets winning their division, and I think both teams are gonna be high 90 wins, maybe 100 for the Padres. We'll see what happens, but they're gonna be 2 very good wild card teams and a very good game to watch come playoff time. Definitely.
So should be exciting. Really National League is very competitive. Got it's very top heavy. Got some great teams at the top with the ones we've named: the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mets, Braves, Nationals as well. Cardinals are good. So it's gonna be exciting to see what happens.
Definitely, it's cool to see how like the AL has flipped over to like the NL. Like because the AL the last couple of years you had like the Indians winning 100 games, you had the Red Sox, Yankees winning 100 games, the Astros, and now it's like you got the 4 teams in the NL that are just gonna win 95 plus games and stuff. So it'll be really fun for the NL this year. I'm really excited for that.
Definitely. And along those lines, we'll kick it over to the American League. Like Adam said, it's a little bit more wide open in all of the American League divisions.
For sure.
The talent and the prowess of each team is kind of evenly spread across the board, comparatively speaking to the National League. So we'll kick it off with the American League West. We have a couple really good teams at the top, a couple decent teams that could win 90-ish games if they play their cards the way that they want to.
Right.
We got the Astros, of course, World Series winners a couple years back. Got a great team. Most of their players coming back healthy. Right. As far as right now, they're 3-0 against the A's. The A's are also a really good team, and the Angels were possibly the team of like the best team in spring training with as far as their hitters went. Shohei Ohtani put on a show, hitting 500, OPS of like 1.6, something crazy like that. So
for sure,
it's gonna be a fun division to watch. What do you think is gonna be happening?
Man, I mean, I guess fun is the word to be used right there. I think it's gonna be great. I think that I wouldn't say I'm much of like a diehard Mariners fan, but I'm a fan of the Mariners. But I think that this isn't their time. I think that the same goes with the Rangers. I think that those two teams are kind of out of the picture.
The Mariners' future, though, is looking pretty bright.
Right. That's something that they haven't had in franchise history. So
let's hope they don't blow that like Dustin Ackley.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. No, but I think that the A's have just consistently made the playoffs, so I think that they're really going to be right there again in the race. I don't know how that they do it, but they always do it. The Astros have all this postseason experience with their guys. I know that they've lost a few guys over the last couple of years, but I think that they'll be right up there. And the Angels have one of the best lineups in baseball, so I do think though that I have the Astros. I think that they added Jake Odorizzi. They've got a really good bullpen. Their lineup, of course, is super potent. So
Verlander's going to be coming back at some point.
Right. That'll just be like a blockbuster trading itself at the deadlines with him coming back. Just another superstar for them. So I think that they'll get it just because of their experience. It's not the pick that I want, but I just think it's what's going to happen. I don't think cheaters deserve to be rewarded. But I do think that it'll be close, but I think that they'll win it.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Most people know. If you don't know, I'm a diehard Angels fan. Have been since day one. So the way I want to go and pick this is the Angels winning the AL West, of course, but I'm a realist as well. They have a very exciting lineup, but I don't think they have the pitching to get it done, unfortunately. Maybe if they're around hovering around a wild card spot around the trade deadline, they could go out and trade for someone like Sonny Gray or
definitely
someone of that caliber. But I'm going to go with the Astros as well. I think they're just top to bottom too good. It's game 3 of 162, but they've kind of shown up the A's through 3 games so far.
Yeah, and that goes a long way. Yeah, it does go a long way.
Yeah, especially when you play a team 18 times to go up 3-0. That's a big difference. There are 3 games up in the division already. That's tough for the A's to battle back. Of course, it's a long season, but
definitely.
I'm taking the Astros as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like it.
Yeah.
But I really don't, but yeah.
I don't either. I'm not the one to root for the Astros either, but I think they're the better team. I'm going to try to be a realist here.
Right. I respect that.
Moving on to the AL Central, my Angels, they're playing the Chicago White Sox in this first series of the year. The White Sox are looking really good. They got a really good young core going. A lot of potential, really good pitching, top to bottom. Their top 3 starters were 5th, 6th, and 7th, respectively, in the AL Cy Young race last year. So they're an exciting team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we got going for us in the AL West, Adam? Twins?
Yeah, I hate to be the breaker of the bad news to the Central, but I do think that the Central, no offense to anybody out there, but I do think it's the worst division in baseball. But this is a division where you got the Royals and you got the Tigers, whose farm systems are absolutely loaded, and they're ready. These guys are ready to come up and make a name for themselves in the next few years.
Royals do have a very underrated lineup as well.
Right. They'll be fun to watch. I think that they could make a run at a wild card spot, if things go well for them. So that'll be interesting to watch. So I think that of course, like AJ kind of mentioned with the White Sox, I think that they are clearly the favorite for this year. They've got just a lethal lineup, top to bottom. They're loaded at every position.
Still have a pretty good farm system as well,
right?
Which is crazy.
They're bringing these guys up. You got Nick Madrigal. You got this rookie who started off 8 of 8 or whatever it was, something crazy.
Yeah, he has many Mercedes. Yeah.
So, and then you got Moncada. You got
Luis Robert, Rookie of the Year.
You got Eloy Jimenez, even though he's going to be out for a while. They're a really young and fun team. I think that they're definitely going to win the division. But I think that the Twins could compete I think they could make a run at it, but, I think it's the White Sox for sure.
Yeah. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm picking the White Sox. I think they are going to win 93-plus games, somewhere in that range. I think they're a very good team. Again, they got great pitching top to bottom, and I don't see any way that the Twins can overcome them in the division.
Right.
And again, the Tigers, the Royals, those guys aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Not yet.
They
both got great farm systems, but not yet.
The Indians too are just,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with them, so we'll see what happens there.
They got Jose Ramirez and they got Shane Bieber, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Really, yeah.
Big drop off since 2017 World Series.
Definitely.
But yeah, let's keep it going. Final division, we got the AL East. MLB powerhouses like the Red Sox and the Yankees. Red Sox are a little bit down past couple years since their World Series run a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees year in year out seems like they're the odds-on favorite to go to and win the World Series out of the AL.
Yep.
Haven't been since 2009, but year in year out they're still the favorite.
Yep.
And you got exciting teams like the Blue Jays, young, really exciting team to watch, really electric lineup. And then, of course, you got the Rays, who everyone continues to sleep on, but they were in the World Series last year.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you thinking, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, the Yankees, I think that they're going to win the division. I think it's going to be theirs. But their injuries is just, it's crazy, and it's really sad because that really is what's holding them back from becoming, like, honestly, a dynasty. And so, that could derail their season like it has, or, they can click and it'll come together. But I think that they'll take it. I think that the Blue Jays, they are the most fun team to watch this year in the off season with what seemed like a move every single day. They're going crazy. I love the Rays too. I think that the Rays are what baseball is all about, and so I think that the Orioles have a great farm system coming up with Adley Rutschman, who can be a superstar one day. We got to hope for that. And then the Red Sox, they have the money to be able to turn it around, but the Yankees, of course, yeah.
Agree. Yep, I'm going to go with the Yankees too. Odds-on favorite every year. They got a great core in Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, Gary Sanchez. If he's playing well, he's looking pretty good so far this year.
You got Stanton,
Cole, very good pickup in Corey Kluber, in my
Right.
opinion. That was one that I really wanted the Angels to go out and get.
That was
A
needed
bid
pickup for
low,
them,
1 year pickup for them. And yeah, I think that I don't see any way that the Yankees give up the division unless they have a complete blow up with injuries and stuff like that.
For sure.
But yeah, so again, we got the Yankees, both of us, winning the AL East. And let's talk a little bit about the wild card. This one's pretty interesting for the American League. I think there's a lot of different ways you can go. We've named a lot of really good teams that have a chance to do some damage this year, but
For sure.
for me, I think I'm gonna. Man, this one's tough for me. I've thought about it a lot, and I really haven't come to a conclusion. So I'm kind of just gonna go out on a limb and
Go for it.
just say that I think the A's are gonna be the wild card number one.
Oh, the A's! I like it. Spicy. I like it.
They had a great offseason.
They did.
They're starting to make some actually big moves. No more Moneyball going around. They're signing big players. I buy into the A's. I think
That's a great, yeah. It's a great investment for sure.
And for the number two, I'm stuck between two teams. I'm between the two in the AL East that are behind the Yankees. I'm between the Blue Jays and I'm between the Rays. And for me, I think I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. I'm going to say that the Rays are going to have a little bit of a World Series drop off, a little bit of a World Series hangover, you could call it.
Yeah. Definitely.
To where they just had a crazy run last year, but I don't know if they can repeat it again in 2021. What are you thinking, Adam?
Yeah, that's,
A couple bold takes.
You're right,
maybe.
yeah, spicing things up a little bit on me. I don't know. You got me thinking with the Rays there at the end because, they lose Blake Snell, you lose Charlie Morton, and, there goes like your superstars. So, I think, you know what? So for the first team, I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
Number one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I think that they're a team that's going to be like 5 games over 500 at the All-Star break. And they're just going to make like 2 really good moves or something at the deadline.
I can see that happening.
And then, I'm getting you some love here. The Angels, man.
Give me a high five, Adam.
I've heard a lot about him. AJ's talked a lot. We've talked a lot about his Angels. So I think he's right about what he said earlier. I think that they're going to be, they're going to be over 500 at the deadline, and they're going to make some moves, and they'll get it done. And I think that The A's are going to make it interesting. I think that the Rays, they were like the team that I wanted to pick, but then I just realized right there at the moment that they have lost a lot of guys. So
yeah, the Rays are always kind of that feel-good story for the
and
MLB.
the A's,
Them and the A's both, right?
That's just what baseball is all about.
Small market teams. Not a lot of fans in the stands, but they both have. The Rays have made it to the World Series a few times.
Yep.
The A's are very competitive year in and year out.
Definitely.
So. But yeah, there you have it. From top to bottom, I'll repeat my picks real quick. In the NL West, I got the Dodgers. Sorry, got the Dodgers winning the NL West. Mm-hmm. In the Central, I got the St. Louis Cardinals, and in the East, I got the New York Mets. And for the American League, I'm taking the Astros. For the AL West crown, for the Central, I'm taking the Chicago White Sox, and for the AL East, I'm taking the New York Yankees.
The Yankees win, yeah. Man, so I got the Padres. You know, I really hope that this can happen. That'd be hilarious. That'd be a great moment for me, being like a D-backs fan, to finally see something, you know, not go the Dodgers' way. Right.
Same boat with small market LA team compared to the Dodgers. I would love nothing more.
Man,
we'd be the biggest Padres bandwagons that you could find.
I'd buy me some Fernando Tatis jerseys in a heartbeat.
Side note, those brown and white and yellow Padres jerseys that they're bringing back.
They're so clean. They're so good.
Top 5 uniform in baseball.
Definitely.
There, I said it.
Facts. I think that the Padres, yeah, let's hope. I got the Brewers. That's my biggest like curveball of the night.
Yeah.
And then I got the Mets, and then in the American League, I got the Astros, the White Sox, and the Yankees. I think that's just like your standard, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on, we're gonna talk a little bit about the awards season. We're gonna talk about MVPs from both leagues, a little bit of Cy Young, and we'll try our best to maybe name a couple Rookie of the Year candidates. I always feel like it's pretty hard to kind of predict who's going to come up and when they're going to come up, how long they're going to be up, and all those kind of things. But we'll make some predictions. We'll throw some guesses out there, see what happens. But
to see what happens, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess let's just start off with Rookie of the Year. Let's start with the NL like we did
for
divisions. Any prospects that come to your mind?
See, I'm not too good with these rookies for the NL. I need to do some more research on these guys, because I know Mackenzie Gore. I've heard so much about him because of how good he's been. I think if he comes up, I think he's a great.
The thing with that, though, is does he have a spot in the rotation for the Padres right now? Would he be a bullpen piece?
That's the thing. I don't even know. Like a 6-man rotation, I guess.
Yeah, Angels are doing it. So.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a little bit more common in the MLB.
Yeah.
I think we got Gore. Honestly, he's really like. There's at least like 5 guys off the top of my head in the AL, but I can only think of like Mackenzie Gore. So I guess we'll have to come back to that one for me at another time. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not too read up on National League prospects right now. I think if I can remember right, the number 2 prospect in baseball is Ke'Bryan Hayes, third baseman or shortstop for the Pirates, and I think he's obviously a candidate. He's the number 2 prospect in baseball. I think you're right with Mackenzie Gore. The only question mark I can set by that is just if there's a spot for him with the Padres. If they can use him. Of course they can, but I don't know if it will garner Rookie of the Year type numbers. But another dark horse could potentially be Nolan Gorman for the Cardinals. I mean, it's tough to find him a spot right now with
maybe
Nolan
like
Arenado.
The outfield. Yeah, maybe the outfield.
Maybe put him in the outfield. Of course, he can't DH in the National League, but
sad.
He's a very, very high potential power hitter prospect that is in the minor leagues right now. Of course, he played in Arizona where we live, so we know a little bit about him. But yeah, those are kind of guys on my radar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Ke'Bryan Hayes. Let's just go with it.
Yeah,
I got to do some more research about him, but
me too. But
let's
go with Ke'Bryan Hayes. We're gonna lock it in right there.
Perfect.
AL, like you were saying, you said there were 5 potentially more guys that come to your mind. Who are you thinking?
I mean, where to even begin? You know, you got AL East. You got like 5 guys. You know, you got Adley Rutschman. You got Wander Franco, who's the number 1 guy in baseball. You got Nate Pearson for the Blue Jays, and then you also got, I think he's like the 3rd prospect in baseball, Spencer Torkelson, who just got drafted.
Ooh, yeah. He Yeah.
He's you know.
That'd be a quick call-up for him.
Would be a quick call-up. I mean, he played a lot in spring training, which I guess is a great sign for him and for the Tigers. So you got him,
Local Arizona State product.
Right,
Forks
right.
up.
He's a phenom. So, and then you got guys like Jared Kelenic for the Mariners too, who I've read up a lot about. So Nick Madrigal too for the White Sox will be really good.
Yeah.
He's a great player. So, I think I'm just gonna go with Adley Rutschman. I think that the Orioles are really gonna kind of let him loose. I don't know anything about the Orioles, nor do I know much about what their plans are for Adley Rutschman, but I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna be him because I hope he's gonna be a superstar. He's a switch hitting catcher, and so
Yeah, a lot of potential. Yasmani Grandal type stuff coming from him.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also got a great name, Adley Rutschman. That's
such a sick name.
Kind of sounds like a star name to me. I don't know.
Definitely, like a baseball player's name for sure.
Yeah. I mean, all the guys that you named are great picks. Kelenic, we'll see if he comes up for the Mariners or when he comes up.
Definitely.
You got
soon.
Willie Adames.
Oh, yeah, and you got Randy Arozarena, too.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
You got 3 on the Rays.
Thanks for putting the words in my mouth. I'm going to go with Randy Arozarena. Late call-up for the Rays last year.
Love it.
Really big for them in the playoffs, but technically is still a rookie, so he could still go out and win the Rookie of the Year, which is kind of crazy, but that's how the ball has fallen. So I'm gonna go with Randy Arozarena. That's kind of
I love it.
The way I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he shattered what seemed like every record in postseason history.
Right.
Him and Corey Seager were both doing that last year, and he was a rookie, and he looked like he was 10 years into the major league. So I'm excited about that kid. That'll be really fun to watch him.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's go to the Cy Young Award winners. Let's do it. Let's go through it real quick. We got some great pitchers on both sides.
Oh yeah.
We'll start with the National League. I'll go first. I think he's kind of the odds-on favorite, at least in my eyes, to win. I'm gonna go with Jacob deGrom for the Mets.
Slam dunk right there.
Slam dunk. I don't think you can go wrong with him as long as he stays healthy. He's gonna, exactly what you're getting from him. You're getting 200, 250 strikeouts, low 2, high 1 ERA. He's your prototypical ace
He's
for the
aging
Mets.
like fine wine, that dude.
Yeah.
He's so good.
And a low-key pick that on the same team, maybe Marcus Stroman if he has a big year.
I like that. That's a flyer right there. I like that. He's a baller. I like Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, he's got some swag, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Who you taking?
So I think I told AJ this like a few weeks back, or like maybe I don't know, sometime in the past. But I was planning on going with the wild card, and I think that Blake Snell is my pick.
Ooh.
I like the
Padres edition. Okay.
I got this Padres mojo going on, so I think Blake Snell he's a superstar. I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder for getting pulled in Game 6, and so he blanked the D-backs in his first game. So I think that's a great start for him.
Yeah. I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. Adam and I are not, I repeat, we are not Padres fans. At least not yet. We'll see what happens come October time. If they're playing the Dodgers in the NLCS, I think we might have to go buy some Padres jerseys.
Right.
But maybe a preview for the MVP that Adam's going to be picking from the National League. Maybe Fernando Tatis, Machado, somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Definitely.
But let's switch it over real quick to the American League. There's a lot of different ways you can go. You could maybe go with dark horse like Zach Greinke if he could have a really big year for the Astros if they're going to go to the playoffs again.
Mm-hmm.
You could go Lucas Giolito, breakout season for him. He was 5th in the Cy Young voting last year.
Yeah,
7th in the Cy Young voting last year.
He's a star.
He's
great.
Great pitcher. I don't know, who are you thinking, Adam?
I mean, I love those two pitchers. I think that the favorite, and I think is going to be my pick for sure, is Garrett Cole.
Yeah, of course.
I think that
tough loss for his Bruins tonight, by the way.
Yeah, very heartbreaking for sure. I think that, honestly, it's really going to be I think he's going to kind of run away with it.
Okay. 300 strikeout season?
Ooh. He could definitely do it. I think that he's going to, like I kind of had the chip on my shoulder, little saying with Blake Snell, I think he's going to have the same when his own teammate Verlander beat him out a couple years back in that tight race. So I think he's going to get it this year, and I think he's going to do phenomenal.
I think 300 strikeouts is completely possible for Garrett Cole, especially
sure.
in the division like the AL East where you got a lot of power hitters, especially on the Blue Jays. That team is going to strike out a lot. They're going to hit a lot of home runs, of course, as well, but they're going to strike out a lot. The Red Sox are going to strike out a lot.
2021 baseball there for
yeah,
you.
Yep, it's just getting worse.
Yeah.
They deadened the ball, but I think we're still gonna see a lot of home runs this summer. That's a great pick, Adam, with Garrett Cole. I don't want to pick the same guy as you, so I'm gonna try to go off on a limb a little bit.
I like it. That's what I did with the Brewers. I just didn't want to go with the Cardinals, So
Yeah, exactly. Let me think real quick. We got Giolito on the White Sox. We got Keuchel. We got
Keichel's really good.
Garrett Cole, of course, the favorite.
Jose Barrios too for the Twins.
Jose Barrios,
he's great.
He had a no-no going through 6 tonight as well.
He's phenomenal.
He's got some great stuff. Had 12 strikeouts through 6. Whew, man. Why not? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Zach Greinke is going to win would it be his 3rd Cy Young award? 4th?
Yeah.
He's gotten
3rd?
He's gotten a couple.
Does he have 2?
I think he's definitely got 2. He's got one with the Royals, and
did Arrieta beat him when he was on the Dodgers? I think that might have been when Arrieta beat him.
I forgot about that. 1.61 ERA and didn't win it.
I thought
he's
that
just
was
a
robbery.
pitcher. He's a pitcher.
He's a gamer.
He knows how to pitch. That's plain and simple.
Yep, I love it.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think if I had to put money on it, I would probably put money on Garrett Cole, the favorite. But I'm gonna throw it out there and say Zach Greinke's gonna have a great year.
For sure, I love that.
Yeah. All right. The final 2 predictions that we have this evening are the 2 big ones. We got the MVP awards from both leagues, and we got the World Series predictions, who we've got going and who we've got winning. So let's keep the theme going. Yeah, exciting. Let's keep the theme going with the National League first, and let's talk about who we got for the MVP. I'll go first. I think there's a lot of guys that can go out and win it. There's Francisco Lindor, first year with the Mets, could go out and win it. I think there's 3 guys on the Dodgers that could go do it. I think Seager, Bellinger could both do it. I also think Mookie Betts could do it, of course.
Right.
That would not surprise me at all. Then if you go a little bit down south to San Diego, you got Tatis, you got Machado, Hosmer, you got those kind of guys that could go out and do it. But I'm going to pick a guy from the Dodgers, and maybe the guy that's 3rd on the list for a lot of people. I'm going to go with Corey Seager. I think he's going to
Let's go.
I think he's going to lead the Dodgers this year. He had a great spring training. I think he hit 8 home runs in spring training.
Oh my gosh.
13 games or something crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Great spring. Of course, spring training doesn't mean anything in the long run, but
right.
I believe Corey Seager is going to put the team on his back and say, let's go.
I love that. I know that we've been bagging on the Dodgers a lot, but I do love Corey Seager. I think that he's so fun to watch. It seems like every superstar is in the NL. You got Nolan Arenado, you got Christian Yelich, you got Mr. Smile himself, you got Juan Soto, you got...
Oh, man, I didn't even think about Juan Soto. That's wow.
You got Ronald Acuna, you got last year's MVP in Freeman, and then you go out and you got 2 years ago's MVP in Cody Bellinger, you got Seager, Betts, Tatis. So
yeah.
I think that this could end up being like the greatest, race for an award ever, honestly. That being said, this is going to be maybe like the biggest flyer of the night. Although he is rated as one of the top players in baseball, I have Ronald Acuna getting it.
Okay.
I have back-to-back Braves. I think that it's going to be Freeman from last year, and his teammate Acuna is going to get it this year. He's just, he's your 5-tool player.
Yep.
But again, if you go with those other 10 options, like we've been talking about, you really can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. It's going to be a tough race. It's going to come down to the wire, like you're saying. It's going to be...
Juan Soto, too. That's so tough picking Acuna over Soto because Soto is just
top 3 player in baseball, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And you don't got him winning.
I know. It's so tough. I think that the wins will help Acuna. I think the team wins will help him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that's been Trout's biggest downfall, of course. He's won 3, which is incredible in 10 years, but he's also finished top 5 every single year of his career. But I think it's his team record that's held him back a little bit from winning some more MVPs because he's hands down the best player in baseball. It proves that every single year. Of course, I'm maybe talking a little bit about my favorite team, but I think that's not a debate that many people can win, proving me otherwise.
And that's a perfect segue. I don't have to say anything else because you just summed it. Trout's going to win the AL MVP.
Yeah, Mike Trout's going to win the AL MVP.
Yeah.
We said it. Anyone else on the horizon, maybe?
The White Sox are loaded. I think that they have like a couple of guys that can definitely produce monster seasons. You know, you got your reigning MVP in Jose Abreu. You got Yohan Moncada if he can turn up and have a great year.
Tim Anderson's my dark horse.
Right, Tim Anderson too is another guy who can definitely go out and do it. I think that the problem with what I was like hitting on earlier with the Yankees with their injury problems, I think that really affects a guy like Aaron Judge from being able to go and win it, or Stanton from being able to get his second. So, I mean, until proven otherwise, you know, why would you go with anybody else except Trout?
Yeah, agree. Pretty easy pick there for us.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the big one, the World Series. We've named a lot of great teams that we've got going to the playoffs, winning the divisions, winning the wild cards. And let's talk now about who we got in the World Series. Adam, give your World Series pick. Who's going to be in it?
I mean, just my weird love for the Mets. I think that they're going to just go out and shock the NL West, and they're going to beat the Dodgers or Padres, and then they're going to beat either the Braves or, you know, maybe the other Dodgers or Padres team, and I think that they're going to make the World Series.
Wow.
I think that they're going to face off against the White Sox.
Ooh, okay.
I think that that's like the White. I mean, you would have called me crazy for saying that like 3 to 5 years ago, but
yeah.
Look at how times have changed. But I think that the White Sox are bound to make some acquisitions at the deadline, and I just love the Mets. I love their rotation like we've hit on. So I think that it's going to be the Mets and White Sox, and you know, the NL is just going to keep reigning superior. You've had the Dodgers, the Nationals. I think it's the Mets here.
Okay. I'll say this. I hope you're right. I hope the Mets make it. I hope the Padres make it. I hope the Braves make it.
Oh, yeah.
One of those teams.
Praying for that. That'd be great.
Yeah. But I have a really tough time picking against the Dodgers. Just on paper, especially like the season they had last year, how dominant they were, how dominant they've been over the past 8 years, winning the NL West every year. And then they go out and add the Cy Young winner on their team, Trevor Bauer. And he's not even their number one, apparently. They have Kershaw pitching ahead of him. And then they got Walker Buehler as well right behind him, a Cy Young candidate for sure.
And you have David Price coming back. You got Gavin Lux coming up. It's like they're adding guys, and just it really doesn't make much sense.
No. And then, like we said, they've got 3 MVP candidates. Maybe more if Justin Turner goes out and has a big year.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's so.
I don't see anyone stopping that freight train. I think the Dodgers are going to go to the World Series again.
Yeah.
And the AL team is tough. I also really want to pick the White Sox. The odds-on favorite, of course, like we've said every year since 2009, has been the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Oh man, that would be very big for baseball. New York versus LA.
That'd be huge. Wow, that'd be awesome.
But I'm gonna.
Ooh, here we go.
I'm gonna throw a curveball, maybe a little knuckleball. I'm gonna go with the Astros making it back to the World Series.
Another Astros Dodgers.
Oh,
that would be awesome.
I'll be the first one to say I don't want to see that again. Those are possibly two of my 3 least favorite teams.
Yeah.
In MLB. The Yankees are also on that list, unfortunately. But I could see that happening. I think the Astros are going to have a great first half, and then once Justin Verlander comes back, that's lethal if he's coming back healthy and pitching well. If they go out and make a trade for another starter, if their position players are healthy, they have one of the best cores in baseball.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's gonna be Dodgers Astros part 3 now.
Part 2. It seems like part 3 just because of the dominance of those
Part
two.
2, you're right. Yeah. It was Dodgers Red Sox in 2018, and then Astros Nationals. Yeah.
Right. And last year we were close to getting Dodgers Astros, but you know, the Rays came in and.
Shout out to that 16-team MLB playoff format last year for getting the Astros a chance.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a blast last year, but I like that, dude, Astros.
Yeah. All right, who you got winning?
Yeah, dude. I think that I like the Mets. I do like the Mets. I think that the Mets will win it in 6 games. I think that it'll be a really good World Series, but I do think that it's just, you know, it won't go to a Game 7, and they're going to get Thor back, and he's going to come out and just dial it in. They're going to have
their bullpen's lethal.
Right, their bullpen, you know, you have guys that can go in from 6 through 9 and get their job done. So
yeah,
I love what they have. So I'm just sticking with my gut on this one, I guess.
Fair enough. I completely understand your explanation there. And I'm going against my heart, going against my fandom. I'm picking the Dodgers to win.
Oh, that must be hurtful.
The World Series back to back.
Oh,
it hurts.
Yeah.
Pains me a little bit seeing the bigger market team from LA going out and doing that. But again, I just don't see anyone stopping that freight train. It's just unfair. They got a 3-time Cy Young and MVP winner in Kershaw. They just went out and got the reigning Cy Young Award winner in Trevor Bauer, and MVP candidates all over the field.
Dude, it's like when the Warriors were 73-9 and they get KD. It's like the Dodgers are going to World Series and they get Trevor Bauer and they get David Price and Mookie Betts and Gavin Lux. And, it's just like, it really isn't fair.
No. The whole Warriors KD conversation is a whole nother conversation that we won't go to on this episode of 643 Podcast. But
right.
Adam, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. I like your picks.
This has been a blast.
And I think it'll be exciting to see what ends up happening in the 2021 season come October.
I hope you're proven wrong about the Dodgers. That's all I hope.
Yeah, me too. But it'll be a great season.
It'll be really
especially
fun.
with fans back in the stands. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure.
That's what we've needed for baseball. So
yeah. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening in to the 643 Podcast. This edition was a little bit longer than 6 minutes and 43 seconds. But it is the preview edition. We had a lot to talk about, and I think it's only right. We covered a lot of great topics, made a lot of, we think, great predictions. We'll see, but should be an exciting 2021 MLB season. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. This is Adam Ellenberger with your host, AJ Peterson.